And tonight, we're going to be caucusing with a major black group, and that's never happened for marijuana before.
So what else is on the agenda
Because
while you're at?
traditionally the black churches have been against it, and now since the ACLU report, it's a 180. Uh, there's a demonstration in front of the White House going on right now at Lafayette Park. Uh, People like Jesse Jackson and Dr. Ron Daniels, Neil Franklin from LEAP, and tonight we're all going to be together at that reception. And that puts a different face on cannabis. You know, in Colorado, you've got the right face on it,
Right.
but no one else has really gotten it that right. So we represent a lot of other parts of the country. Uh, Jim from New Jersey has had a life-threatening fight for years, just for minimum access. And you know, the New Jersey program is terrible. But even that, if this amendment is passed, that loosens up everywhere. They no longer have the excuse that they're waiting for Eric Holder to make a pronouncement or Obama to
Right.
tell them they're not going to arrest them. It's a simple little amendment, but it does a world of good, not only for states like California that are screwed without it. You know what's been going on there
Mhm.
for so long.
Yeah.
Uh, and states that are holding back on their programs like Delaware and
New York.
New York, and saying we're not going to do anything until we know what's going on with the feds.
Right.
1523 is a great band-aid because it takes the worry out of the equation, and of course eventually it's got to be taken out of Schedule 1. But here's an amendment that is much easier to deal with than a bill, you know, in terms of getting support, and it would just mean the world to the whole movement. And I wanted people to see that the face of the movement, you know, outside of Colorado, people still think it's hippies asking for pot, and it's not, and it hasn't been for a while. And that's why I started the Silver Door, and brought seniors into the dialogue, which they just never were before, unless they were all hippies like me.
Well, we can tell you it makes a big difference because obviously we're supportive of everything that you guys are doing on this issue. But there's a lot of other offices where it really takes, seeing somebody in person in your office for them to say, yeah, this is not what I thought it was. And so whether we're talking about medical, whether we're talking about decriminalization or anything, whether we're talking about hemp, just having that
Would there be
personal
an
face.
office that you might suggest, I mean, suppose you have a little free time, a fence sitter, somebody that Congressman would like to see people that, you know, aren't quite the stereotypical, somebody we could help you do what it is you want to do.
Yeah, I would check with some of, with Aaron and others at SSDP to see who they've been talking to and who they've been lobbying on this, because we're always talking to other offices. We've talked at the staff level. Congressman Polis talks to people and other members on the floor on both sides of the aisle, and so I would check and see where their efforts are targeted right now, because it really is, putting a different face on it and showing people that this is a serious issue. You mentioned the ACLU report. That was something, we kind of already knew, the racial disparities when it comes to arrest for marijuana possession, but having it in that.
It's been an issue for 2 years, but that report just crystallized it for
really does.
everybody.
It really does.
And it mobilized the black leadership in a way that they've been reluctant to face up to before. They've always gone along with the black church line, which is, it's the devil's weed, which is ironic. But and now we've got a great voter group to join with senior voters, which is always potent, and LEAP, which gives a lot of people confidence in changing their mind about cannabis. When they hear ex-law enforcement officers say that, it's not right to put people in jail, and we've destroyed more lives than we could possibly have helped in the drug war, and we want to see an end to it. A lot of conservatives listen to the law enforcement officer and say, hey, maybe I've been going down the wrong road. So it takes all of us in a community to present a diverse face that just has never been presented as a diverse face. I I mean, I admire Colorado tremendously, but it's really unique in its experience, and it was well planned. You had such good people working behind the scenes and planning in advance. Uh, California was done with no thought
Right.
whatsoever,
We've seen the repercussions of that.
and so now it's all falling apart. No, but the rest of the world needs to see a diverse face. That's all.
Yeah, and I think it makes a huge difference. And what are the meetings, what's the reception been like so far with other meetings that you've taken today?
I've only been to Alcie's office, Hastings.
Okay, yeah, I
And
think
of
they're on
course,
our bill.
he was a supporter, he's on the bill.
Mhm.
But Irv Rosenfeld and I are both from his area, and I wanted him to know he had support. I don't think he's ever seen the senior and the patients, and I plan these meetings to help people who didn't have enough meetings with their own district congressman, so that we could fill some time, show some support,
Mhm.
and make an appearance, which makes a difference.